All right. Hello and welcome. Looks like we're live. So this is Vow of the Knight-Aspirants, The Whispering Mists, part 2 of 2, the second session of our two-shot facilitated through the Open Hearth gaming community. I am Alexi. I will be the GM of this session. If you want to learn more about Open Hearth Gaming, you should check out openhearthgaming.com to find out about all the cool indie role-playing games that are being run each and every month through this gaming community. This game is Vow of the Knight-Aspirants. Vow of the Knight-Aspirants is a game in development from Cloven Pine Games, i.e. me, a game about squires in an Arthurian-type fantasy world trying to prove themselves worthy of knighthood by going on this quest in search of the elusive and magical Tower Perilous. We are playing a little two-shot here to get a little taste of the system and try out some different tweaks I've been playing around with. And here we have a trio of squires who have come to the village of Traders Bay and started to discover some strange things happening there. And we will pick up and find out a little bit more about these squires and their adventures. But first, let's meet our players. So if you would, folks, let's do a round just of introducing yourselves as players with your name, your pronouns if you wish, and online handle or anything else you want to plug. So I'll start. I'm Alexi, he, him. I'm GMing this session and the creator of this game. And you can follow all of my gaming endeavors online at Cloven Pine Games. So you can check out Cloven Pine Games on YouTube or on Twitter and follow my my newsletter, Murmurs from the Cloven Pine, on Substack. Let's, Joe, have you introduce yourself next.
Hello, I'm Joe, he, him. Yeah, that's about it.
Good to be
Nothing
playing
to
with
plug.
Joe. Brandon, your turn.
Hi, I'm Brandon, he. My camera's being a little wonky today, but I'm happy to be here.
Good to have you here as well. Last but not least, Chris.
I'm Chris, he, him pronouns. Nothing to plug, just happy to be here.
Good to have you all here. So let's meet our characters. I'm going to ask each of you to remind us of things about your character, putting the art up in the stream for anyone watching along. And yeah, tell us a little about who this character is and remind us of what was going on with them last time. So whether you want to say kind of where they ended up or some key moment, or just give us a sense of how they were dealing with the unfolding situation in Traders Bay. Joe, back to you. Start us off. Tell us about your character, please.
All right, so I'm playing Ava Dumont. She, her. Ava is a warrior from the mountainous region of Trevhenberg. She's the Tiger and Oak playbook, so she's very martial, but has a keen desire to defend those who cannot defend themselves. I think last time I'd say that Ava was uncharacteristically reserved, and we will for a tiger, and we will probably see the opposite this time. Maybe lean into what she's good at. So
that's great. I'm looking forward to seeing her cut loose. Brandon, would you tell us next about your character, please?
Yes, my character's Andromeda of the Isle. She doesn't have a last name. She is a scion of a order of holy warriors named the Daughters of Morning Star. They come from the Flickering Isles, which is kind of like Avalon in Arthurian myth. So she has to prove herself both as a knight and as basically a woman of piety, both at the same time. When last we saw her, she had persuaded a fell beast in the shape of a horse. It is unknown exactly what it is, to carry her on its back in exchange for kindness.
Yes.
She is the Stag and Hourglass playbook, so she has both sort of a noble legacy and the gift of prophecy.
Right. And the way you kind of framed it is the prophecies sort of come to her, channeled from the priestesses on the Flickering Isle. Was that correct?
Yes, yeah, there is a grand oracle on the Flickering Isle, and the disciples thereof get prophecies sent to them in visions and in dreams
Very nice.
from those very gifted priestesses.
Right. Very nice. Love that stuff. Let us meet, last but not least, our third squire. Chris, tell us please about your character.
Guy Blackwell is the fox and the chalice, so he is a scoundrel and a healer. Uh, and he is I think the moment I want to highlight of last session is he made his first, like, met struggling civilians and made his first, like, vow as a knight to help and protect them, instead of, his usual method of scamming them out of everything they've got.
That's great.
We'll
That's
see
great.
how it
Yeah,
goes.
you were connecting with the common people, who in this case consist of the a boy and a grandmother, who appear to be the two remaining people awake in Trader's Bay. Everyone else having gone to sleep, strangely. Well, I'm excited to jump back in and see what these characters get up to. But I think we open instead with a pack horse wandering away from Trader's Bay, and kind of this animal that had been traveling with the squires is now kind of confused and lost, looking around, uncertain, and it kind of like whinnies in alarm as it realizes that it has stepped into what appears to be an encampment of some sort, right? Some tents set up in a sort of not totally permanent looking way nearby the village, and someone comes out from one of these tents, pushes aside the flap, sees the animal, and seizes it by the bridle and says, "Hey, everyone, Wolf, Hartho, we got something here." And a number of other people emerge from tents with hair and beards braided in the characteristic manner of Seathlanders. And the man addressed as Wolf, who appears to be the leader, takes a look at the horse and says, "Oh, isn't this interesting?" Starts going through the saddlebags and says, "Yes, this didn't come from Trader's Bay, not at first. Stuff here that could only have come from the court. King Hadathar." He spits on the ground. "Well, lads, looks like there may be something more of interest in this town after all. Gather your weapons. Light your torches. Tonight, the Ravens feast." And the Seathlanders give a cheer. And we cut to back in Trader's Bay, our three squires. Can I say you're sitting around the table in the house of this these two civilians that have woken up, since they offered to explain to you what was going on? Does that sound good to folks? Great. So just outside the door,
Sure.
the horse-like creature that Andromeda christened Beauty is sort of pacing, right, but has kind of seemingly acceded to waiting for you, right, while you're seated. And maybe there's even some kind of herbal brew, right, that the this family, right, consisting of Ethel, the grandmother, and Hobart, the grandson, have offered you, right? So we have kind of, sharing a moment of hospitality here, as Ethel says, "Oh, well, what has become of Trader's Bay? I suppose I should start 6 months ago, when the first of us began to fall asleep. Mists would come through the streets of the town at nighttime, and they would whisper. They took the town blacksmith first, then the wife of the mayor, and then more and more. People heard the whispers and wandered into the mists, lured by whatever it was they heard. I told Hobart here, we have to stop our ears. But Allison," and she jerks her head over towards the woman sleeping on the bed in the corner of the cottage. "Allison listened to the mists, and we found her the next morning, dead to the world, slumbering peacefully but unable to be roused by any means. Brought her back here. Not long till the whole rest of the town was like her. Something comes in the mists and takes away part of our people. They're left as these slumberers. And the Seathlanders, well, we were easy pickings for them. Hobart and I hid, so we heard them breaking down doors, seizing everything of value, leaving this town a ghost of itself." And she kind of slumps a little bit. Hobart kind of awkwardly pats her on the back and looks at the three of you with some degree of desperation in his eyes.
Has this happened before?
Has this happened before? She kind of,
Even in tales.
she starts to shake her head, and then pauses, and she says, "I've only heard of it in the oldest of old wives' tales, nursery rhymes, really. But that's what makes me fear that I brought this upon the town." And Hobart says, "No, you can't think that, grandmother. You can't blame yourself. That doesn't make any sense. I know what you're thinking, but that can't be what's behind this."
What indeed are you referring to?
She kind of draws a shuddering breath, and Hobart says, That's enough. That's okay. Listen.
Listen. No, you listen, young one." And I know that he's probably about my age.
Maybe a year or two younger.
Yes. "Listen, young one. Any people have brought curses by the most innocent of acts, transgressing in places that they did not know belonged to the other world. There is not necessarily blame involved unless you are so quick to cover it."
I'm wondering, what are you doing here, I guess? Because is it possible you're offering encouragement of a sort? I mean, I feel like there's a mix of encouragement and admonition in what you just said, but I'm wondering if we're going to roll that move.
I'm not encouraging him. I'm telling him to pipe down. And so I'm not sure what.
Search for truth, then. Search for truth. You're
Fair enough.
you're
Search for truth.
trying
This
to
is
get
very
more
much
information.
search
You're
for
trying
truth.
to circumvent, whatever Hobart's concern is that is making him try to, hold his grandmother back from disclosing more. So go ahead and roll plus ingenuity.
Okay. And I do not have that checked, so I'm just rolling 2 dice.
Unless you've got a lesson that is relevant here that you want to tap into.
Oh, let's see. Not yet.
Okay. Then
so
roll
I
the two.
have a 7, which is an 8. I rolled a 7, which is so it is an 8.
Okay. Cool. You get one question from the search for truth list.
Okay.
And we'll kind of weave that into this conversation.
Scan that list. Certainly what danger and justice needs to be addressed here.
Yeah.
What has happened to that might have caused this?
Sure. Yeah. So you had this back and forth, right, with Hobart, and like you're kind of asserting some authority over him. It seems like, as you say, you say there's no blame unless you are covering something up this way, right? And like he kind of like quails, right? He maybe like partially risen when he was objecting, and then like slumps back down in his chair. And Ethel, the grandmother, sips from what she had brewed for you, and then like kind of puts her hands down on the table, sort of like leaning on it for a little bit of strength, and says, I think it may be my fault for letting my granddaughter, Lily, this one's older sister, marry that man, that Brahmagath. He came to our village saying he was a merchant, a trader in trinkets, but I could tell he was some manner of wizard, an arcanist, that he had secrets, but he had wealth. He could offer a better life, a more secure life, and so I gave Lily to him. I told her this was her way, without a father, without another protector, to find a safe and happy place in the world. And he sailed off in his silvery ship with our Lily, the most beautiful thing this town ever produced. And that trade has brought this curse on us, I'm convinced. I should have listened to the bad feeling deep in my gut. I should have known some wickedness was at work. But that's all done now, and the town's fate is sealed. No matter how much we hide, I'm sure it's only a matter of time before the mists claim us too. So there you go. Does that work for you as giving some kind of answer to what injustice needs to be addressed?
Absolutely.
Here? Great. Eva, as all this is happening, your instincts are, I think, fairly attuned to picking up signs of danger. You're noticing outside that the that horse creature is kind of tossing its head and making kind of almost distressed sounding whinnies. What do you do?
Yeah, so she's been listening to all this, and she doesn't like. I think she's kind of stood up and pushed away from the table, and has been like, enough of this. This, I can't. I don't know about this fell magic and things, but Seathlanders, we know how to handle Seathlanders. We
That's
should
true.
deal with the Seathlanders. And as she's kind of backed away from the table, and she kind of peered out the window, and then she sees the horse, or the horse-ish thing,
The horse thing.
um, acting up, and she says, "What has gotten into that fell creature?" And she opens the door uh, to go outside and see what. I think she just goes, right.
Yeah, absolutely. Ethel will call after you. Careful. We don't know exactly what it is, but that creature, it kept appearing more and more as the village fell asleep. It's some strange manner of thing, and it may be linked to all of this.
And she kind of just and kind of humph. She really doesn't interested in hearing all this.
Yeah.
She's into more tangible
right.
things.
Enough with the lore. So you come out, and the creature kind of snorts, right? And again, there's that like crackly ice in the air as it snorts, where it's got this weird ice breath thing going on. And yeah, I'll just go ahead and say it, right? Like in the distance, but not too far distance, right? Like maybe coming from the same place where you all entered the town, so not so recently. You hear tramping boots and maybe rough voices raised in song, not in the language of Castany, but perhaps having fought Seathlanders before, you know something about their kind of martial chants.
Yeah, so she immediately is cries out, to arms, Seathlanders, they are upon us. And I think she's going to draw her sword and beeline right at him.
Oh, are you charging into danger ahead of any allies?
Absolutely.
You get to take a heart when you do that. That's great. We'll check back on that in just a moment. Guy, let me check in. How are you taking in all of this? Ethel shared this story. Eva has walked right out and then charged off in the direction of danger. I'm curious about your reactions and actions here.
Really probably should deal with the Steplanders, shouldn't we? Listen, it's a fancy horse, but those are people with swords here to kill us.
You raise a compelling point. Are you saying that out loud to Andromeda, or is this just Guy's thought process? Okay.
All right. Here's my angle I'm trying to work: is we've befriended the fell steed.
Yes.
It is somehow linked to putting all these people to sleep. Can we use that?
Yes, but
interesting.
we have to deal with the this more pressing problem now.
I'm saying we can use our magical ice horse to perhaps freeze them in their tracks.
Ethel will say to you, take heed, young man. Those who attempt to grasp at this power sometimes find that it bites them. And I'm willing to say she's trying to impart a lesson to you. You decide
All
if you accept it, right? But
I refuse.
okay, you're rejecting the lesson.
Yeah, no. That's all well and good, Granny, but I refuse to believe that sending your only daughter away would be met with a curse and not a boon.
Go ahead and resist a lesson being imparted to you. You roll without a stat to do it.
Just straight?
Yep, it's a straight roll. Unless you have another lesson that helps give you advantage at resisting this lesson.
It's without a stat in any case.
I do not have a lesson.
Yeah, it's without a stat in any case. The question is, can you angle for an advantage on it?
I don't think this counts as involving the honor of strangers or past healing harm, etc.
All right, let's just see the roll then.
Who even needs advantage? I just rolled an 11 on the dice.
Hey, okay, so on a 10 plus, you stand firm, impart a lesson to them, either one of your existing ones or a new one. If you impart a new lesson, you may record it for yourself as well. So basically, you get to decide, right, like what lesson you're trying to fire back at Ethel, and if you want, it can be a lesson that you then record for yourself as sort of a like riposte to.
I mean, how to? Because I think my lesson is basically what I just said, which is like some version of nothing is fair, save the fair folk. But
let's do that then. Nothing is fair, save the fair folk. Beautiful. Andromeda, what do you do? The civilians are certainly looking scared. Eva has rushed off. The horse is pawing the street with its hooves.
Do I think the horse is pawing with impatience or with desire?
Impatience is what you feel like.
Okay. I'm going to mount up on the horse.
Okay, swinging up on top of this fell creature,
and go after Ava to support her.
All right. Well, we'll check in with Ava first.
Yes.
Actually, then Guy, if Andromeda's charging off on the horse and Ava's already charged ahead, are you following them or pursuing your own angle here?
Andromeda has just ridden off on my angle, so I guess I have no choice.
Okay, well then, Andromeda will know if you're coming. Andromeda will bid you mount up. This is a huge horse, and you can carry the both of us.
Are you both riding on the horse?
All right, why not?
She'll put you down a hand and yank you up. And
Great.
and yeah, just hold on to me.
I'll add that the fell horse kind of gives like some kind of like surprised not totally happy noise when Guy is suddenly on its back as well. But Andromeda, you forged a rapport with it, so it will go along with this. But I think Guy, you get the sense that it's going along not totally willingly here. All right, cool. Ava, you charged ahead, so I will say you see, right, like you're like coming up on where at least a dozen Seathlanders are kind of marching into this town. Some are holding torches, some are holding axes, some swords. They've got kind of sort of scrappy looking armor, like they've stolen bits and pieces of armor and fit them together. And you definitely recognize the like braided beards, braided hair, and the like song they're singing about. Do you know any words of the Seathlander language, or like you just know them by sight and stuff?
I think probably just bits and pieces, right? I mean, there was a long history of raiding and those sort of things. So I
It's a
would think
conflict that's
maybe
gone on for generations. Yeah.
that she'd be able to pick up, especially anything that's if it's any sort of like battle type chant that they would do. I would think maybe they would know it.
Yeah. So you're like, oh yeah, those are their words for blood and loot and and like to feed the sword edge, right? So yeah, absolutely. So that's what they're singing about. You're not taking a stealthy approach at all, so they see you coming and prepare themselves. Does that seem accurate?
Yeah, I kind of want to I'd like to try before any sort of doing battle
Mhm.
her temperament move of claws out,
Yeah.
which is sort of an intimidation thing. So
Let's
I think
see.
yeah, I think the scene that I have in mind is that she marched forward when she saw them coming down, and I imagine that like the road comes down into the town and she's standing where like right at where it enters kind of like the town, right? She's standing
Okay.
there
Nice. So
and
there's like a entry to the town, and you're
yeah,
like
just something.
holding that. Yeah, it's not like
And
there's a whole like gate to hold, but you're like just holding the path
most
where it,
symbolically, right? And
yeah.
I think that maybe her people um have their own um war chants or cries or song maybe, and I think she will start to sing that, um and you know pull out her blade, which is a actually a Seathlander blade, and
Right.
start in a sort of this big show of like intimidation, right? To um, let them know that they're not dealing with village mooks here. So
Great. So when you intimidate someone with a show of force or aggression, roll plus valor. Yeah. So I think like no matter what, yeah, they take notice, and there's like a double take on the part of this raiding party that a warrior stands against them, armed with one of their own swords and singing a martial chant from Trevenberg. Go ahead and roll with valor to see what you get out of this.
okie dokie. So I think 11, 12, 13 with the plus 2.
Okay, on any hit, they must choose a reaction from below. So they're gonna pick from these options, right? Like give in with a few stipulations, back away, worried and wary, stand up to you but waver, or flee. Yeah. But you get to strike one of those options before they make their pick.
I'm going to strike out. They give in with a few stipulations.
Sure. Seems unlikely anyway, right? Um cool. Then I'm leaning towards they stand up to you but waver. Take advantage of dealing with them for the scene. So like
That's what I was hoping for.
they're caught off guard, right? And like thrown off their game, but they still like take a moment, they look to each other, they take a moment, they like, you know, understand that they outnumber you, and so they're still gonna like rush forward, weapons at the ready. It's just you get you get ongoing advantage, right? For as long as we think this is the same scene, which it'll probably be a little while, to dealing with them, right? So I think let's let's roll into that. Like a big Seathlander armed with an axe, lets out a roar, says, brothers, she's just one, we can take her, and comes like big axe overhead swing towards you. What do you do?
Yeah, so I'm assuming we're going to lean into do battle, but I think we would
Probably.
see her. We would see her. I think she's going to try to duck out of that and attack the the Seathlander.
Nice. Yeah, let's do battle. When you do battle with a worthy foe, roll plus valor.
All right. So with
tell me
advantage,
are you using a lesson?
Ooh.
Am I using lesson? Let me see.
No, you already have advantage. Sorry.
You already have advantage.
Right.
I mean,
You already have advantage, so
advantage can stack up if you want it to.
Does it? Ooh.
I believe I have that written down in the current draft of the game.
And then when we heat a lesson, it's like once it's advantage, and then it's one time per session, right?
Yeah, you're spending that by heating it.
You do get XP for that, right? Though, right? Like at the end of session, I think.
You get XP actually when you defy a lesson.
Ah.
Yeah, I think since I have advantage already, I think I could probably lean into when faced with wickedness, strike without hesitation or compunction, maybe. But I think I will hold on to that for now.
All right, go for it then.
All right, so 3 dice.
So you're rolling with advantage just from having intimidated them, and also your valor, and you are doing battle. And let's see how this goes for you.
Not good.
Even with
7. Still a 7.
7. There we go. Yep.
Okay. Phew. Okay.
Apparently my bark is louder than my bite.
Well, you are fighting, like we did specify you're fighting like a dozen people. So when you do battle with a worthy foe, roll plus valor. On a hit, you trade blows in fierce combat. So yeah, so absolutely, so like you're getting hits in, they're getting hits in. On a 7 to 9, you pick one from above, and afterwards your foe picks one as well. So the things you're choosing between, right? The options you get here are: I shield another from harm, I press the attack and inflict additional harm on my foe, I fight cannily and maneuver my foe where I want them, or I keep my guard up and deflect or redirect some of their blows. So you get to pick one of those, and then the Seathlanders will also get to pick one.
Okay. I'm going to press the attack and inflict additional harm on my foe.
Okay, nice.
Yes. Yes.
So tell me a little bit about what that looks like. Like, are you cutting down some of them along the way here? Like, what's the what do we see Eva doing, showing that she's like going all out on striking hard against the Seathlanders?
Yeah, I think she maybe has identified the leader based on I would assume some sort of distinctive spradings or something, right, that would indicate the leader, and she is trying to get to him. And so I think what we see is they start to kind of form up, because I imagine maybe he's stayed back just a little bit, and I think maybe we just see her whirling around, and the sort of classic cinematic sword thing, ducking and kicking somebody and then slashing and all of that sort of stuff, all because she wants to get to the leader.
Yeah, so it's the guy named Wolf that we met in the cold open, right? And he's for sure got like some like fancy scrimshaw bone incorporated into his like hair braids and beard braids, so you can tell he's in charge, and kind of you're like pressing the attack, batting away foes weapons to try and get at the head honcho here.
Yeah, I think I like this idea that like she's fighting all these people, but she almost completely keeps her eye contact with the leader the whole time. Like she's just like dialed in on him completely while she's doing all of this fighting and knocking and kicking and whatnot. So
nice. I think they're gonna pick I fight cannily and maneuver my foe where I want them. So like, and like, this is like Wolf fighting cannily by like deploying his people, right? So like he sees you making this progress towards him, and he's like, he like he barks some orders. He's like, Hartho, hit her from the side, get her that way. Jarn, get the torches. And so you find yourself, so like you take some blows along the way here. I'm going to say mark a tarnish to represent just like some hits you're taking. From the you've inflicted some damage too, right? Like there's several Seathlanders lying, kind of fallen in your wake. But as you're pressing in forward towards Wolf, the leader, this like this big guy Hartho kind of like tackles you and knocks you like through the door of one of these little houses near the entrance to the village. And as you like pull yourself to your feet, you see that Seathlanders are now throwing lit torches into this building to try and trap you in a burning house. Guy and Andromeda, I'm going to turn to you in a moment. Oh yes, Eva, what did you pick as a second condition?
wrath.
Yeah, that tracks. The battle rage is on you. Do we lose Brandon for a moment?
Looks like it.
Okay. Then let us perhaps take our first break here, and then we'll pick up again with Guy and Andromeda. See how this shakes out. Sound good? We'll take 10, and we'll come back at 2 minutes past the hour. I'll put that in the chat so Brandon can see it. All right. See you all soon. Hey, Brandon. We're just taking our break now, so we'll be back at about 2 past the hour.
Can
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good. Last time I took my AirPods out and then it disconnected and then it did some weird thing where it took while I was on break. I got my
Ooh,
UVG2E book.
Ultraviolet Grassland Second Edition.
Yes, it just showed up
Shiny.
in the. It just showed up in the. I was just like, hey, I wonder where that's at, and I went and looked at the tracking number, and they're like, it's been delivered, and I'm like, really?
That is one strange world. I love it.
I do too. I have the first edition, and the second one's just mostly more art, because he stripped out most of his own like system rules out of it, because he's gonna kickstart his, he calls it like CCAT or something, his sort of rules system. So
the second edition is a system agnostic setting, essentially.
yes,
Nice.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
that's wild.
yeah.
Cool.
It has rules in it still for some very specific system things like caravans, the things that are very UVG, but it's 50 pages longer, and because he stripped that other stuff, it's almost all art, new art and stuff, which is my favorite thing about it, is the art. So
cool. All right, so when we left off, Eva had inflicted some damage on the Seathlanders, but also been shoved into a building, which was then set on fire. So let us check in with Andromeda and Guy galloping down the street of Traders Bay on the back of this horse. Andromeda, I have interesting news for you.
Yes.
As you are riding this fell horse creature, following Eva following the sounds of battle cries and screams, and clashing of weapons, you feel a prophetic vision breaking in, and something is being sent to you. But I'm going to need you to roll to see how this goes, because as per your hourglass extra, when your foresight track is empty, or when the GM tells you a vision is coming, roll plus tarnish is marked.
All right, here comes.
What did you get?
I rolled a 6, and I have a single tarnish, so that is a 7.
Okay, all right, just made it. So on a 7 to 9, you receive a disturbing vision, mark 2 foresight. So you're going to get more foresight, but I think the vision you get is a vision of the whole of Traders Bay in flames, right? A vision of this this town, being kind of like burnt to the ground, and nothing left here but ashes. Which, and your visions are sometimes warnings of possible futures. So it's not a guarantee, but is a disturbing vision. Guy, I'm interested. What how do you react when the person who's steering suddenly, like, her eyes go blank for a moment?
It's fully like Three Stooges for a second there. I think it's like leaning over her to try and like hold the reins.
There are no
Swinging
reins.
There
out
aren't
onto
any.
the side of the.
There
Oh
are no
no!
reins.
It's you're riding bareback.
She's holding on to the mane of the horse, and you're holding on to her.
We're riding full liberty. Our
She
driver
doesn't go limp or anything
just
like that. She just stops
phased
talking
out of
to you.
existence.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So there's this.
I mean, the panic sets in nonetheless.
It's a sense of like, oh boy, am I gonna keep it together? Um, I like it. I'm deciding whether I'm gonna want to throw a mechanic at you there, or just let you go on your merry way. What do you think?
I mean, I'm not adverse to rolling. I don't know what would apply here.
I mean, it could be
It
just
might be
you.
trust your reflexes.
Oh yeah, when you trust your reflexes to avert an imminent
If you're
danger.
about to follow, if you're about to get catapulted off the horse.
Yeah,
But that
let's
might
go
be
for
cool.
it.
Let's go for it. All right, so that's you roll plus valor, and you see if you can avert an imminent danger. Oh, your valor's -1. Oops.
Check for
Oops.
lessons.
Well, it's a 4 on the dice, so
Ooh. Yeah, and I think you're. Yeah, I think.
absolutely hurdled.
So let me just look at one more time. Yeah, on a miss, you're in the GM's hands. Yeah, so like while Andromeda is experiencing this vision, the guy you realize the horse is like kind of racing, more wildly and out of control, and like it like swings around, some like curve in the road, right? And you find yourself flung from the creature's back, uh, hit the ground hard. Please, if you will, mark a tarnish for me, just to represent how you're feeling as you start trying to pull yourself back to your feet. And
Let me see.
and I think as you pull yourself up, you start hearing something. Tell me, who is someone that was important to Guy in the past whom he has lost?
Too many to count, really.
Hmm.
Oh, I already have folly marked. I guess I'll mark shame
Hmm.
since you've asked the question.
Hmm. Yeah, who is someone you've lost?
Uh, let's say a mentor, like an older brother, just someone else on the street who took me in and looked after me.
Yeah. Yeah. You hear his voice whispering, Guy, look, you're in rough shape, buddy. I'm right over here. Come on, we can get out of here together. From
Do I have to
nearby,
roll a
this
move?
whisper is coming. What do you do?
With obvious pain in my voice, I say, "Be gone. There's nothing for you here."
What do you mean? I promised I'd always look out for you. Come on, we can get through this together. There's kind of some like mist starting to creep into the sort of narrow alleyway between houses where you were flung from the horse's back.
Yeah, I don't trust this for a second.
Legit. What do you do?
I mean, it's as simple as running away, isn't it? In this moment, I think.
Yeah, that you can do. That you can do.
If not offering some kind of like warding, like warding gesture and
Ooh,
standing
nice.
firm.
Well, which are you gonna do then?
Well, I have somewhere to be, don't I?
That's true.
And I'd rather not reckon with spirits when I have bandits on my tail.
Yeah, it's in some ways easier to fight all the Seathlanders.
Or I could roll my out of the snare move. If this
That
counts
is a
as
move
trap
you have.
or deception.
So what do you how would you expose it? What's your plan here?
I mean, there's the obvious, which is ask him a question only he would know the answer to.
Or just lie to him.
Yeah, or just lie.
It's like, oh yeah, I'll come with you, sure, and then not.
Oh, I know what I'm doing. I'll like. Actually, I need your help with something. Do you remember how we handled it in Greensboro? I'll get in position. You meet up, and then just walk away.
And is that a reference to a thing you two did do together?
Probably. Yeah.
Okay. So you're trying to, you're basically saying to the spirit, oh yeah, totally. We're on the same side here. And
For sure,
but
definitely. Just do this thing you remember if you are who you say you are. For me.
and so
Should be easy.
the exposure is that it won't remember what you did. It's like, hang on, can you remind me? But go ahead and roll and see how well that
And by
works.
then I am gone. Or not. We'll see. My ingenuity is 0 because I have no concept of character optimization. Who cares? I rolled a 10 on the dice.
A 10. You turn the tables on any malefactors, undercutting their schemes. If it's all a misunderstanding, there are no hard feelings. But I think it's not all a misunderstanding. Yeah. So like, as you say this, the mist is kind of coalescing more, right? And a sort of like there's almost a like shape, a human like shape appearing in the mist, but you give this sort of test, right? This you put out this idea, and it and you see the shape kind of like flicker and falter, right? And like the whisper comes again. It's a little foggy, guy. Can you remind me what that was? As like what? As you're like turning on your heel already, like or
Probably,
what?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it went a little something like this, and just book it.
Oh yes. Well, yeah. Let me refresh your memory. So you're just you run away feeling pretty sure that like whatever voice was talking to you does not really belong to your mentor. That this is the mists are a trap, right? The whispering is a lure, and you have made it out of the snare. Congratulations, Andromeda. You come charging in on the horse, and what you find is I don't know, 9 living Seathlanders gathered round a house that is catching on fire, and you can perhaps surmise that that's where they've shoved Eva in there. Some of them turn towards you and like ready their weapons, but their eyes like open wide in dismay as the horse lets out a huff of air, of huff of breath that causes the air to kind of like crackle and water droplets to freeze and ping off the ground. So let me ask you, Andromeda, what do you do?
So I say I am Andromeda's son, the daughter of Angaret, daughter of Anwan, of the daughters of the morning star. This is not your place. Wickedness here will be repaid by your deaths. Can you not see that this is a place of terrible danger? This is your last chance. Leave and save your souls while you can.
I'm checking whether that sort of oration triggers a move per se. Depends on if they're willing to listen.
I could convert it to courtly manners by adding on a few things. If that's interesting.
Yeah, it's a question there. I'm not sure you're in. I'm not quite sure you're in position for that.
Yeah, fair enough. Because it's a fight. But I'll say this, but then I'll do it. Yes, there's not a. I don't have a particular intimidation move, unlike our tiger.
Yeah, you have the bonus factor of riding this weird horse, though.
You could, if you really wanted, spend 3 heart to lock eyes with someone and show them a vision of your future.
I'll absolutely do that. So I will lock eyes with Wolf.
Yeah, I assume you're seeking out the leader. I
guess
like
I will
spot.
I will spot Wolf. In fact, because I have 4 heart, so with that last bit, so I'll spend 3 of it. And I will lock eyes with him, and I will show him his imminent demise.
Oh, great! Yeah. So it's like
I will show him his ignominious, unmourned death, far away from his home, far away from his. Here is your grave, on on a piece of wasteland outside of town, far from your family, far from your forebears, far from anyone who will mourn you, mourn your loss, or help guide your spirit to the next world.
That's great.
No one will send you home. No one will come to get you. You will wander. You will wander this world for an age and perhaps forever.
I like it. This is great because it's this vision of the future that's sort of like the very near future, essentially, where you're just showing him like what will happen if you and your companions can like carry through on your intentions.
Yeah, but then 1,000 years after that, like the decision point is 20 minutes from now.
Yeah. Well, if no one guides his soul onto the next world, then absolutely he'd have to wander around. That all makes sense to me. That sounds in keeping with the type of world we're playing in here, right? So yeah, it's like, yeah, okay, you spent the heart on it. Wolf's like blanches, right, and like the axe drops from his nerveless fingers as he shouts, "Retreat! They have fell sorcery with them. Retreat!" And starts running, right? And so, several of the other Seathlanders scatter, and just like a handful stand in confusion, stand around. And I think that big guy, I gave him a name, Hartho. Hartho says, "Cowardice! We are Seathlanders. We stand and fight." And like he charges forward, ready to like drag Andromeda down off of this horse is what he wants to do. So basically, you've sent the leader running. You've disrupted the Seathland raid. There are a few dead enders, hardliners, right, still here.
Sure.
What do you do when Hartho like leaps towards you, trying to basically like drag you off of the horse?
I think I have to follow through with the prophecy here. I think that the thing that makes the most sense, of course, is that beauty kills him.
Right, but I would probably have you roll to do battle if
yes,
and just like using the horse as a weapon, essentially.
All right. So
you are feeling wrathful, which
yes,
is technically good in some sense, since you will
in some
roll.
sense.
a dark
And
dice that adds to the roll, right? That is part of, you'll pick the best two, including from the dark dice. It's just if the dark dice is highest,
Yes.
you will mark an additional tarnish no matter what.
All right. So let me roll.
Do battle with a worthy foe.
I have no bonus.
Yep.
My valor is a 0.
It's just the dice then.
The dice say 9, and dark die is not the highest.
Hey, okay.
If I have a little help from Guy, that would be a 10.
That could turn into a 10. Guy,
Well,
do you
alrighty then.
want to arrive just in time to be of assistance here? I'll give it to you if you have an idea.
I'm not quite sure what I would do other than like trip him at an opportune moment.
Just beat him with something.
Just huck a rock.
Come around the
The
corner,
Guy
ready to toss the
would.
projectile.
That is 100%.
Yeah, a rock or an apple or something. It doesn't really matter. Momentary distraction. Call him a name.
Yeah, I say in perfect Seathlander, some aspersion against his mother.
Oh, that's great! What a great reveal that you. Yeah, so spend the heart.
I don't speak the language, but I know how to curse.
Well, I mean, you pick these things up in in the type of
you live a hard you spend enough time around the docks, you meet a lot of interesting folks.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you come in with like this perfectly lobbied insult, and like mid charge, Arthur's like, "What did you say?" And then unfortunately for him, he got right up near Andromeda and Beauty, and then the horse just like turns to him, raises a hoof and like kind of like slams him against a wall with it, and then just freezes him solid with a blast of breath. That doesn't look like he's gonna. Oh, you know what? Let's see. Checking lines and veils. Yeah, we could get a little violent here. Freezes him solid and then like kicks him so that like he shatters, right? Like what a moment ago was an intimidating Seathland raider is now a bunch of shattered bits of ice, little and some pools of blood across the street here. And the remaining Seathlanders like drop their weapons and surrender.
I add one small detail, which is Andromeda never draws her sword.
Nice,
because she saw what was coming. So she just holds on. She just holds on to Beauty's mane so she doesn't fall off.
You didn't need to draw your sword. You just let the vision play out.
It's like they had the chance to save themselves. Some of them did, and the others didn't. And so the vision, I had never had a doubt as to how it was going to work if they didn't retreat.
That's great. Eva, you're in a burning building. And my question is, are you just like, do you just come charging out? Like, what's your escape plan?
Yeah, I think after she got knocked into there, I think she's just to come. Her plan would have been just to come barreling right back out the door, because you said the door got knocked in when they tackled her into there.
Yeah.
Because I thought it'd be kind of an interesting like capstone to the scene if she kicked the door kicked open and she came back out, but the door's already gone. So
we can say maybe the door was already already open, given that it's like an abandoned house. So like they tackled you in, and then like somebody like pulled the door shut and like shoved a like spear across it to try and hold it against you so you'd be stuck inside. And so like what you're doing is you're like, as the house is starting to burn and crumble around you, you're like smashing the door down to escape. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
I will ask you to undergo an ordeal along the way though. where basically, yeah. What's the actually? Let me make sure this works. Whether the two modes here both make sense. Yeah. I'm gonna say the question is like whether you get out before like the smoke inhalation starts causing problems for you, right? And so, are you gritting your teeth, pressing on, smashing down that door in time, or do you stumble, hesitate, or flinch so that by the time you come out, you're kind of choking on smoke and in a more dire straits?
What if the firmly planted move?
Yeah, what if you use that?
Yeah, so it's stand fast against adversity, weather the trial, and gain 1 heart.
That is an option. So you can spend 2 determination to stand fast against adversity, weather the trial, and gain 1 heart. If you want to do that, tell me what that looks like as you come bursting out of this burning building.
Yeah, so I've got the 2 determination because I marked when I took the tarnish and when I think Guy took a tarnish. I think I mark them when allies take a tarnish too, right?
That's correct.
Okay. So I think I like that this would be the door just, I think she kicks the door and it just completely comes off, the entire door just completely comes off its frame and just busts in, busts
it hits
out.
one of the Seathlanders while they're running away,
and then she just, I think she just strides out, in sort of, she's got like ash and everything all over her and stuff, but she's like fairly otherwise like unscathed, and then she's just kind of seething with looking around for something or someone to hurt. I think.
And yeah. So Eva, in a foul mood, has come has burst out from this building, and what you see is that your companions help to seal the deal, right? Like there's shattered bits of the one Seathlander here, and some others that have like dropped their weapons and have their like hands up, and some and some have just fled, right? Some are just gone. Guy, you made your entrance with powerful little insult, but now you see that Eva has gotten free from the dangerous situation she was in. However, the fire is still spreading.
Yes.
Just
Guy,
throwing that out there.
I'll say, Guy, I saw that fire burn the town. If we do not stop it now.
You're the one with the magical horse. Get on it.
Your help is appreciated. Am I not living up to expectations?
I mean, like, I'm not even sure what Guy could do at this stage, other than like haul ass around and like other than brigade with Ava, like it's a burning building.
It is.
It is. It is. I mean, you can try to pull a bucket brigade together, right? It's I'm open to thoughts. Just give me something, because otherwise the fire is going to keep spreading.
I mean, we've got a magical water horse. That's the easy thought.
Yes. Well,
Yeah,
here.
yeah. So you're saying the horse should deal with it.
What will you do for it, Guy?
What will I do for it?
This is a friend, not a slave.
Are you just to check,
Oh,
Andromeda? Are you encouraging Guy to like beseech a boon from the horse like you did?
Well, I could beseech the boon from the horse since I know the horse, but you know, there
No,
other people
I
can
see what you're saying.
give consideration.
My first thought is to sing for it, but that doesn't seem like
That sounds perfect. I say, beautiful one. If you'll put these flames out, my companion will sing you a song. We'll craft a song about you.
A song about you. What an offer.
What an offer.
And I say to Ava, I'm glad to see you unhurt. You certainly did a great deal of damage to these people.
I think she just kind of she's still kind of in that mode. She's like kind of grunts at you a little bit, but it's in acknowledgement. But she's still in that that sort of and I have a while they're doing that too. If you want to resolve that, if I was also thinking of demanding action from the trying to hear me out on this. So demanding action from the complacent. I think she would start barking at the Seathlanders, the prisoners, to go to get to the well. I'm assuming there's a
nice.
well or something to start bucket brigading as well.
Oh right, yeah. Just for the ones that surrendered. You're like, what are you doing standing around? Get to work putting out this fire.
Yeah.
And
I don't think that has to take away from what with the horse either, right? I think it
Oh no.
I mean, no, it's all about.
This is great. Yeah, I'll give you the heart for that. We'll say they're starting to do that. You know, it's helping to like kind of call basically to it's like keep the fire at bay a little bit, but they're not able to work fast enough to extinguish it. Guy, did you assent to the deal that
Yes,
Andromeda is proposing?
Do I have to roll for that in any way? If not, then yes, simply.
Well, I think someone's got to beseech the boon, but it could be that Andromeda makes the roll and is just basically putting you down as as what she's offering something you can do, but she's the one beseeching the boon. Does that seem fair?
That's probably better on account of my courtesy is -1.
But when you're ashamed, it actually helps in some sense.
Yes, it is. In that case, I would like to make the roll.
All right. Yeah.
I think this brings in my temporary lesson.
Oh.
Nothing is fair save the fair folk.
Yeah, and you think like this whatever this creature is, it's Fey adjacent.
Okay, so that's 3 light dice and a dark die, right?
3 light dice and a dark dice. That's fun.
You get the two best.
You pick the 2 best from that.
Okay.
We're kicking the tires on the system here.
The highest die is the dark die still.
Oh.
It's a 10, but the highest die is a dark die.
A 10, but the highest die is dark dice. That's perfect, really.
So
right?
a 10 after your courtesy mod or before?
It's an 11 with my courtesy mod.
Okay, 11 and then -1, so you got a 10.
Isn't your courtesy -1 though?
Yes.
Isn't it? Oh, shit. Then it's a 9.
Oh no.
I will assist.
Nice. So you can push it to a 10.
I will assist to push it to a 10 by gently correcting your words. At one point, it's just like
to help him reach this horse that you've started to form more of a.
Well, I know the formalities when dealing with Fey creatures. You know, they have ways they like to be addressed, and I just sort of insert a couple of
you
honorifics.
Supply me a couple like rhymes and things. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. On a 10 plus, they must grant the boon if they can, or if they cannot, they bear their heart about exactly why. The horse will grant the boon. The horse kind of like, raises and lowers its head as a nod, and then like turns towards the flames, and I think it kind of like it like runs round the burning building, and like from it like kicks up, and like the dust it kicks up like turns into this this icy icy fog that then kind of like wafts around the building and causes the fire to go out. So what's left is a burnt place that's now like sort of strangely frosted over, icicles clinging to ashen timbers, and the horse kind of like whinnies at the end to say like, I've held up my end, and looks towards Guy expectantly. So Guy,
I thought I'd be singing the whole time through this, but that.
Oh, you were singing while it was doing it.
But I also like the idea of it doing this and me and Andromeda being over in a corner, like very hurriedly,
quickly composing your song. Yeah.
Which I don't think Guy knows how to write. So I guess that's also what Andromeda
as long
is
as you
doing.
know how to sing, or I'll sing it. I'll sing it if you can improvise.
I mean, guys got to do the singing, right? Like that was the
true.
boon.
And he does gladly.
And that's almost certainly a cheer related activity if a roll is required.
Oh, if I got a roll for this, if it's unsatisfied with the song, will I be cursed?
I don't know.
Very happy with that.
Remember, you have to pick one more tarnish because of the dark die coming up.
Oh no! Hang on. I have so many tarnishes.
Yeah.
I'm so in my feelings.
I think you may want to start trying to clear those as the next thing. But yeah, you have a bunch right now.
I think I'll mark abandon.
Yeah.
May as well.
All right,
so is that if I am rolling with cheer, that means.
Well, yeah. So that's so this is interesting. It feels like maybe the song is you offering encouragement to the horse in a way. Yeah.
All right, and that has dark die advantage, and I can't choose not to take the dark die advantage, right?
Nope. It's that's the penalty of the tarnish.
Yeah, that tracks. It's fine. Everything is fine. It is once again. It has a 9 on the dice +2, and the dark die is not the highest.
Okay, that's what you wanted. So yeah, on a 7 to 9, they pick one from below. On a 10 plus, you are encouraged in turn. Gain 1 heart or mark a notch. Yeah. So I think the horse. I think you share a moment of comfort with the horse. So it kind of I guess describe a little bit about the sound of the song, and I'll describe a little bit about its reaction.
I mean, it's very like Irish pub song. I think it's just very like they're Felsteed, Jan, what Trader's Way, etc.
Yeah.
I'm out here stomping and thumping and singing along.
Yeah,
I don't think I buy it at first, but the horse is like I'm just caught up in the majesty of it as it.
Yeah, and the horse starts kind of stamping its hooves and tossing its mane, and clearly going along with what you're doing.
The working of true magic has just happened before my eyes, so I'm a little bit,
yeah,
more awestruck than usual.
So yeah, it's gonna pick. We share a mode of comfort. Each of us clear a tarnish or gain 1 heart. So look at that. You get to clear one of your tarnishes.
I will clear folly.
Nice. And you get a little bonus for doing that because you are the chalice. So make sure you mark that down on healing ways. just so you have that noted.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Actually technically I think you're supposed to just highlight it and then mark it when you use that. See, this is easier on paper where I think you like.
Oh, I see what that. I didn't even read this.
No worries.
Before,
The point is you get a little. You're keeping track, and it's helpful for you if you can go around fixing all the different tarnishes. Okay, and you can also choose, because you got a 10+ on it, to gain 1 heart or mark a notch as an additional bonus from your offering comfort, offering encouragement to this horse.
Sorry, what was that bonus?
The choice is gain a heart or mark a notch.
I've marked a notch.
Nice. Yeah, so at this point, the fire has subsided. The horse has done its work, and now the 3 of you are kind of like surveying what's left here. I think the impressed Seathlander Fire Brigade is kind of watching nervously, wondering what comes next for them.
So I would actually like to take this opportunity to clear my wrath by giving I think it's giving forgiveness or mercy.
Yeah, grant someone mercy or forgiveness.
Yeah, so I think we would see, they're all covered in soot and ash and everything, and they're just sweating. And she was right in there with them, right? Like with the brigade. And I think there was maybe this moment of, I think everybody at this time, like, fire is such a terrifying thing that can happen in these villages where,
everything's made of wood.
When everything's made of wood, right? And all you have is like buckets of water, right? And so I think there's just this moment of, connection, maybe, in this shared moment. And I think she looks at them all and acknowledges sort of the what they have done, and tells them, you've saved this village. I grant you mercy. Leave this place and never return. This village is never return here, and remember this moment, and lets them run off after where they'd been. So
yeah, absolutely. They give you a Seathlander salute, striking their chest twice, and then they take their heels. They'll take you up on this offer of mercy. Beautiful.
That was good, Eva. Not that you need me to say so.
Well, that's 2 crises averted, but we've still got a curse to cleanse.
Yes. We have to find the whispers. Where they're coming from.
I think I have an idea.
Tell me.
And I'm just gonna try and go back to where I heard my brother's voice.
Nice.
See if we can find something there.
So like leading your group over in that direction.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, do we find our pack horse? Where did that ever go?
They probably brought it with them.
Yeah, sure. They brought the pack horse with them, so it's like
the Seathlanders have got it.
Yeah, as the Seathlanders, no, I mean, like, they brought it back with them when they were coming to check on the town. So like when they run away, it like comes like cantering over and like gives you like a little like nuzzle guy, so that it's for no hard feelings on the pack horse's part. Its packs are noticeably lighter, though. The Seathlanders did help themselves to whatever you guys had in there.
Of course they did.
Hmm. Yeah, but are you are you just leading the group over to the location of the mists?
Yeah. The place I personally know the mists to be thickest.
The place you found them, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
One question: are you going to try to offer encouragement to anybody else before possibly diving back into adventure stuff, or are you good to to dive back in?
Good. I think in this moment, Guy is all business.
All business, fair enough. So the three of you go back to this this dark alley, little like winding path between houses in the village that where Guy had encountered mist before.
On the way, possibly from one of the from the building that half burned, Andromeda picks up a couple of fallen candles, um, and starts to work the soft wax in her fingers.
All right. I think I see where you're going with this. Eva, who is someone that you have lost that you feel that you miss?
I think her father probably died in in a Seathlander raid or something that they in fighting the Seathlanders at some point.
Yeah. So as you're approaching, as you're following Guy towards this place, you start to hear, Eva, my girl, I'm so proud of you. What you've done, what you've become, it's beyond my wildest dreams. Come here, my child. I've missed you so. Let me embrace you and congratulate you on the warrior that you've grown into. This whisper coming from, up ahead where the mist seems to be gathering. But by now it's fully night also. Just tracking the timeline, because I think we said this all started, at late afternoon, sun was going down eventually. By now it's it's nighttime. You're walking through the streets of this abandoned village, recovering from this battle you've just undertaken, and this whisper. So you're hearing this whisper calling to you through the night. Eva, what do you do?
I think she looks around, and at first she was thinking maybe Guy was being Guy, and she kind of shakes her head, like that sort of like, and she's like that's impossible. No, she kind of just no. That's impossible.
What's impossible?
Pay it no heed.
Can't you hear that? Can't you hear it?
No, it's not there.
No, it's just
a miss.
It's only for you. Do you want to stop your ears?
But I miss him. I miss him so much.
Then make an offering at our next shrine. This is not a place you will find any loving soul.
I miss you too, Eva. Your friends are doubtful, but I'm here waiting for you. Don't let doubt hold you back. Ooh. The voice from the mist is going to try to impart a lesson to you.
Ooh.
Excellent.
Ooh.
Don't let doubt hold you back from the ones you love. Do you accept it or reject it, Eva?
Is accepting the lesson giving in to the voice in the mist?
I think if you accept it, I'd have to ask how can we tell that you've accepted it? I'm willing for that to be something short of just wandering into the mist, but there would have to be some kind of manifestation of it.
No, I think she's going to try to reject it.
All right, trying to resist the lesson being imparted
Resist
to you.
it, yeah.
All right, roll for that. You roll without a stat. If you have a lesson of your own you want to employ, you could get advantage from it potentially.
I don't know. I might. This feels a little bit, but not really, like making a resolute stand and evil will break itself against you. Not quite that, maybe, but
it's not far off. I think.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I think I will use that lesson to gain advantage.
All right, so there's no stat modifier, but you roll with advantage on it.
All right. 7.
Oh,
we take those.
Delicious. Say again.
I said we take those.
On a 7 and 9, you both dig in. Don't record their lesson. Both of you mark a tarnish. So like you're like holding to yourself, but it costs you something. Tell me what you mark here.
I think I'm going to mark shame.
Nice.
Because of because she's torn between, like, she's resisting, but she's torn here, and so she's ashamed of yeah.
Yeah. So what do you? So tell me kind of like, how do you respond verbally to the voice of your father calling on you? Like, what do you do or say here?
I think maybe she turns her back.
No, don't turn your back on me, my child. You would reject me? You would abandon me after everything that I did for you? After all the blood and sweat I spent to give you this example, to show you the right path?
Yeah, I think what you see is she's holding her hands over her head, and you just see a tear. You see her tear. She's crying. You see tears, in reaction to that.
Yeah. The voice kind of shifts and changes. Andromeda, it's me, your mother. Please, you have to help us. So many souls are lost and wandering here, waiting for you, waiting for someone to bring the light and show us a way out. Andromeda, please. Andromeda, what do you do?
Yes, Mother, that is exactly my intent. And I'm going to try a search for truth.
Trying to figure out what's going on here. Yeah, just by like staring into the mists, but by asking questions.
Yes, I'm actually going to try to turn the mists around on itself.
Ooh.
By seeing in the mists. Mists are perfect foils for visions. I'm going to try to see through into the mists to what the heart of their thing is, because knowledge, even if misfortune, is a priceless gift.
Hey, okay. So roll plus ingenuity with advantage.
And so I'm actually breathing the mist in. As
Well,
people
that's an
see,
interesting choice.
it's what it looks like.
Indeed.
So,
Yeah.
all right, rolling with advantage here, and ingenuity. That is a 9.
So on a 9, you get one question from the list. If someone bumped it up to a 10, you get 2 questions.
Someone?
That'll be me.
Yeah, Andromeda goes glassy-eyed, as you've seen her do when the prophecy is on her. And she seems to hold it like for too long a moment.
Yeah. So, Guy, how do you back up Andromeda? How are you like?
I mean, I think it's as simple as taking her hand and like reminding
Nice.
her that of where she stands.
Oh, and she smiles when you do that. When you do that.
So
Oh.
2, you with that up to a 10 plus result, you get to pick 2 questions.
Okay. The one is, where is my best opportunity to make a difference? And the other would probably be what danger and justice needs to be addressed here.
Yeah.
And I'm happy if you roll those together.
Yeah, I suspect I will. I think I'm going to call for us to take our second break, and then I'll give you answers after the break. Does that sound good?
Sounds good.
So we'll pick up right from this moment and with the answers. Let's go to 10 past the hour, and then we'll pick up for our last segment here. All right. All right, here we are back. Let me talk a little bit about Andromeda's vision. Yeah. I'll describe some things she sees, and then try to give explicit answers to the questions to make sure we're very much on the same page. So Andromeda, you see a vision of a a beautiful young woman stepping onto a ship. She's departing Trader's Bay, right? Stepping onto this kind of silvery ship with some trepidation, and waiting for her on board is a handsome middle-aged man with a gray beard, and I think even I think in the vision there's some kind of like aura surrounding him, right? Kind of like telling you this man is a sorcerer, right? That there is magic tightly connected to him, and the vision kind of unspools forward, right? Like showing you time playing out, and uh, the girl arrives at the ship. The ship takes her to a little island, right? An island with a palace on it, right? But a strange palace. The type of palace a wizard would make for himself, with kind of great great windows of stained glass looking out over the stormy sea, and you see the girl kind of like struggling to adjust to life in this this strange environment, and then falling ill, right? Like she uh, coughs, and there's some blood on a handkerchief, right? And then she kind of collapses, and the wizard kind of catches her with a look of distress on his face as he leads her to lie down, right? And then as the vision shifts forward, the room she's lying in starts looking less and less like a sick room, and more like a kind of alchemist laboratory, right? Where like she's surrounded by strange beakers and vials, and the wizard is moving all around, checking on her, checking on the arcane devices surrounding her, and looking he looks like he's desperate, and then he looks like he's resolved on something, and you see him unstopper a vial, and this mist comes kind of pouring out of it, and he like speaks a word of command, and the mist streams out from the palace, and you see the mist streaming over the sea and coming into Trader's Bay. You see the people of Trader's Bay kind of succumbing to the mist one by one, and as they fall asleep, as they go into this strange slumber that has kept them ensnared, little like lights float out from the slumbering townsfolk, and the lights speed over the sea and come back to this palace, and the wizard essentially takes the lights and places them in the sleeping girl, and kind of her drawn and pallid features are restored for a moment as she receives these lights, but only for a moment each time, right? And then the kind of last image of the vision is the is like this it like focuses on this girl, right? The vision focuses on the girl, and then kind of the vision kind of like flickers from the girl to the horse beauty that you have formed this connection to, right? And you see the horse riding over the sea, right? Like the horse is running, and under its feet the sea turns to ice, so it can run across the sea to the town, and you kind of like at that blink, and realize, notice Guy holding your hand and kind of like exhale, right? Exhale,
Yes.
and the mist like streams out of you, right? And it
And
doesn't
the
capture you.
and the first thing Andromeda does is she grabs up like, oh, I'm like a discarded pot maybe,
Yeah.
that's by the side of the road, and she just smashes it to the ground. And bits of porcelain fly in all directions. And she puts her hands over her eyes, and then she recounts what happened. She's furious.
Hmm.
She's furious that a man's folly you know, would endanger this whole town.
Yeah. So let me
Um,
so let me give you explicit answers to your questions, just to make sure
Yep.
I've kind of conveyed what I wanted to convey with this vision. So the danger or injustice is that Lily, you conclude that's who this has to be, right? Lily,
Yes.
the girl, Ethel's granddaughter, has fallen sick, and her wizard husband is using the mist to take life or life force or something from townsfolk in a kind of struggle to restore or keep her alive, right? That's the danger of justice. Best opportunity is that just like the mist has come from this wizard's island, the horse has come from the wizard's island too, but it seems it's more aligned with the wishes or the soul of Lily than with whatever the wizard is up to. Does that
Yes.
work for you? Seem like a
Absolutely.
fair set of answers there? Great. Yeah. And you're just like kind of rattling off what you've seen and how you interpret it.
And weeping with fury, frankly, at people's folly.
You're still wrathful,
I am still wrathful,
so that makes
and
sense.
and it's that just at the folly, and I say, the folly of man is without measure. But anyone can take that lesson to do it. I'm not trying to impart it. It's just, Eva, Guy, we must away across the sea.
I think Guy, as you are recounting this, has just started has sat down on the ground and is starting to measure out ingredients from various pouches.
Ooh, nice.
And just doesn't barely even notices you and just it keeps going.
And then as you say this, right, we must away across the sea, the whispers start up again, and now it's all three voices whispering in unison, which is very strange, right? That it's Eva's father and Andromeda's mother and Guy's brother and mentor, seemingly now whispering together as they say, no, you must not. That is not the way to help. You must come join us. Step into the mist. Do not attempt to interfere otherwise.
At this point, I will put wax in my ears, and I will offer it to the others if they want it.
Eva, do you partake?
I'll just
I think
around and take it.
Yeah, I think she'll take the wax, and she'll, in response to we have to go to the island or whatever, she says anywhere is better than here.
Nice. Yeah, so you're basically you're shutting it out. You're not gonna listen to the whispers at all anymore. As if in response to this, the mist just starts to solidify more and more, and tendrils of mist start snaking their way around your arms and legs. It's gonna try to physically hold you if it can't tempt you with its whispers. Eva, I'll turn to you first. What do you do?
I think she's going to lash out verbally. I wonder maybe if she can try to do claws out again to
Ooh.
uh,
Intimidate the mist.
yeah, yes.
Yeah,
And
why not?
basically she's just screaming at it to be gone, and but it's all like comes out as this vented frustration at, like, she's yelling at her father, right, and stuff, but she's showing force to try to just make it go away.
Eva,
Hmm.
may I help you?
Yes.
Andromeda pulls her sword. Use this. This is the blue flame of dawn, and it has power against things like this.
Ooh.
So I'm sharing an heirloom with an ally.
You are. That's great.
This is a sword of the flickering isles, and if anything can cut these shadows, this can. Do what you do best.
All right. So Eva, armed with the blue flame of dawn, venting pent-up frustrations.
Which lights, when wielded righteously.
Oh yeah, I imagine that's why it's called the blue flame of dawn.
Yes.
Lashing out to intimidate the mist with the show of force or aggression. Roll plus valor, please.
All right. Does the help do anything mechanically?
I think what I'm going to say is let's wait and see, and if
Okay.
maybe it's great justification for a heart spend here.
8, 10.
Okay, so it's all good. It's all
you needed
from the get-go. So yeah, so the mist is going to have to choose a reaction. You can pick one that it can't choose.
I'm going to take away. They give in with a few stipulations.
You never want them to take that one. Yeah, I think what it does is it flees. So like as you swing the sword and like traces like a blue streak through the air, right, and like it passes through the mist and seems to cut it. The mist pulls back, right, as if in fear, and then like you can't hear what it's whispering, right, like you can't hear what it's making your loved ones say to you as it just like disperses away, and you're left standing in a normal dark alley, no longer beclouded with this mysterious mist.
So before we end this scene, I was hoping maybe to if it's okay with Andromeda, to try to clear my abandon by admitting a hidden sorrow to a sympathetic ear.
Ooh,
of course.
Let's do it.
So I think she's kind of raging at the mist, right, and she's doing the slashing it, and when it goes away, I think she turns to Andromeda, puts her hand on Andromeda's shoulder, and says, "Thank you. I'm the reason my father died. I wasn't strong enough. I wasn't good enough. I wasn't there to help him when he needed. It should have been me." And that just kind of that's her, and all of this brought this back, that brought it back up, right, that it's and the words that the mist said, yeah, so
that's amazing.
Whether it should have been you or not is not for you to say, does Andromeda.
And she'll present she'll kind of present the sword back to Andromeda, and say, thank you.
The right tool wielded by the right person, says Andromeda. Andromeda's not cheery. She's, that's her minus stat. She just says things the way she sees them, which is not always.
But yeah, I mean, you don't have to be cheery, right? Because Eva can clear abandon just by admitting the hidden sorrow.
Yeah, no, and I'm not trying to be.
Yeah.
Andromeda, no, she's not good at it. She's not good at comforting words. She's seen too much sorrow, some of which has happened and some of which has yet to happen. So, are we ready then? Guy, have you prepared yourself?
I assume you're all taking the like wax out of your ears now as you talk to each other.
Yes. Sorry. It's probably a humorous moment for them there.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yes, of course.
Yeah, Guy, what are you doing? What's up?
When was the last full moon? Is it? Are we at Scorpio rising, or is it a melancholic season? I can't remember.
Got to think through all the factors.
16 days. And yes, I think so.
Right, then I'm ready. Should we leave a note for, what is her name? Ethel? It's not Ethel.
Yeah, Ethel was the grandmother.
Oh, I was right. Shall we leave a note for Ethel and her boy?
The best note we can leave them is to lift this pall.
She'll know whether we've been successful or not.
Nice. So just perhaps kind of to move towards wrapping things up on, a like cliffhanger type moment, right? And then we can add in some details of the adventure to come as we're doing epilogues. The horse, whinnies like it's calling you.
Yes.
And starts cantering towards the sea, right? Towards the edge of the port of town, right? Headed towards where the land meets the water. Do you follow?
Yes, we run. I run.
Okay.
Because I can see this vision that where the horse runs, the water will freeze, of course, permitting us to follow along behind it.
If we're planning to end on a cliffhanger, then I think what I'm going to do is try and spend my 3 heart to cleanse a place of a curse, which is to drive away the mist, like, from here while we're away, and then presumably the rest of the adventure would be to stop it from coming back.
Yeah. Okay, then that works for me. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about what that looks like.
Well, I've been fussing around in the dirt for a long time. I think what I'm going to do is just like light that in a brazier. And it is like a ghostly, like brilliant white flame.
Ooh.
And as the mist is driven away by Ava with the sword, it is like kept away.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. So like maybe the like view like pulls back and we see the town and we see the like mist kind of like circling around it, but then when you've lit this light and like whatever is burning in it kind of like wafts through the town, the mist like can't get back into the get back into the town. So like you've sent it away, and all of the sleepers like stir at least for a moment. Like there's some sense of them like perhaps starting to emerge from slumber, even if there's one more step needed, but like there's a sense of like they're maybe even like their like eyes like flutter for a moment, and Ethel and Hobart like race over to Allison's bedside and are like checking her like pulse and seeing like what's going on, what's happening. Is she starting to wake up? As Guy has worked to cleanse. What is the wording? It says cleanse a place from a curse, poison, or malign influence. Yeah, that's legit. Spend 3 heart to do that.
And maybe it's one of those things that, as long as the flame burns.
Yeah, I was about
of course,
about to say.
Yes.
We have right.
So we only have.
This is the timer for your adventure. Is you have to go like cut this off at the source before the flame burns down back here. I like it. Yeah. So then like maybe the last thing we see is the 3 squires standing at the water's edge, and the horse starts walking along the water, and everywhere where its hoofs fall, the water turns to a sheet of ice, and it's kind of wide enough for the 3 of you to just walk along behind the horse, not comfortably, right? Because of course it's ice, so you're like anticipating a slippery, treacherous journey as the horse kind of blazes a trail for you across the water and towards this mysterious wizard's island. Shall we do we want to add any more details to that, or shall we go towards kind of end of session moves and epilogues?
I think that's good. Myself.
I'm happy.
No, I think it's good.
Nice, cool. So be thinking about you'll have to roll to see kind of something of the tone of your epilogue, but be thinking about what sort of stuff you want to be foreshadowing, right? The epilogue will end up being kind of a glimpse of adventures to come. Could be directly related to what's going on here, since we have this next step of the journey set up, or could be projected further in the future. If you're like, I want to see my character in the Tower Perilous, I want to see my character, as a full-fledged knight in the future, right? Okay. All right. So each of you has a end of session question, and then there's a lesson prompt related to it, or related to the end of session as well. So Eva, let's turn to you first. At the end of each session, mark a notch if you protected someone important to you. What do you think?
I mean, I don't know if she protected the village from the Seathlanders, or just she likes killing Seathlanders.
Or just she likes killing Seathlanders.
Probably.
You protected the Seathlanders from yourself.
You did. You did. Though, are they important to you, or was that just a moment of magnanimity?
Yeah, I don't know if I tick that there.
If you don't think so, then probably not.
Yeah.
So then the other thing is you pick one of your lessons and you choose either I embody this lesson more and more, take a heart. I'm struggling to fit this lesson into my ideals, rework the lesson. I have more to learn from this lesson, upgrade it from a temporary lesson to a permanent one. So that's more if you accrued temporary lessons, right? And I have learned all I can from this lesson, delete the lesson and mark a notch. So some options there.
Yeah, I think the very first thing you said, the kind of leaned into the lesson with when faced with wickedness, strike without hesitation or compunction.
You're embodying that more and more.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. So the reward for that is marking a heart. Very good. Yeah, well, why don't you roll plus notches for your epilogue, and then we'll probably go back around for narrating epilogues after we've done these questions with other PCs.
All right. Yeah, 6 plus 7, 2 notches, 8.
Nice. Nice. All right, we'll see that when we go back around. Andromeda, at the end of each session, mark a notch if you boldly shared a difficult truth. What do you think?
Well, I think I shared several difficult truths.
Several difficult truths. I would tend to agree. Then go ahead and mark a notch for that. And next, you pick one of your lessons and you choose. Do you embody it more and more?
I embody knowledge of misfortune is a priceless gift. My stepping into prophecy very hard.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So you embody that lesson, take a heart from it.
Mm-hmm. And
Guy Blackwell.
now I'm going to roll the epilogue dice.
Yeah, and you got +3 on it. So what could go wrong?
13.
Ooh, well, that'll be fun. Guy Blackwell. At the end of each session, mark a notch if you helped someone who seemed like an enemy.
I don't think I've done that this session.
No.
I got
Yeah.
a little too concerned with helping my friends.
Fair. I mean, nothing wrong with helping your friends. Then you pick one of your lessons and you can say, do you embody it more and more? Are you struggling to fit it in? Do you have more to learn from it that would upgrade a temporary lesson to a permanent one? Or have you learned all you can from it?
I think I'm struggling with the notion of only a fool wagers on the honor of strangers.
Ooh, so how might you tweak it or rework it a little bit?
I have no idea, truly.
I mean, are you saying like sometimes you have to wager on the honor of strangers? Like what's the, or like, so only a fool wagers on the others? Yeah.
I think I'm taking more umbrage with the concept of honor at all.
Interesting.
Interesting. Know how to phrase that except something like
when you're with strangers,
a
watch your back.
dishonorable compassionate act is worth worth a score of dishonorable discompassionate ones or something like that. That's
can I give you
too strong for where I've landed? I'm at the point where this should be a question, not a statement.
Yeah. Well, so the thing is, lessons are sort of questions, given that you can either like live up to them or defy them as they go. So could I propose that you just say choose compassion over honor?
Sure.
And then that gives you that gives you something that, in a hypothetical longer campaign, you would really have to either live up to or defy when the push comes to shove. Nice. That's fun. Go ahead and roll plus your notches then, and we'll get a sense of what sort of epilogue you're gonna have.
3. Snake eyes. That's a 5.
Amazing.
That's fine. I know where this is going anyway.
Hooray.
That's great. So Eva, nothing can be done about epilogue rolls. So Eva, let's hear what we're thinking. Let's hear your epilogue. So you rolled 7 to 9, right? So it's narrate a scene where a lesson you've learned helps you to narrowly avert a dangerous threat.
So I was thinking we see I know what it is. I'm just trying to think. It can be pretty much anything in the future, right?
Yeah.
I think we see Eva as a knight.
Nice.
And she's in. We see a scene of her with in sort of like a mountain pass in Trevenberg, and it's her and just a small amount of her warriors left against sort of like a horde of whether it's Seathlanders or something. They're holding that pass, and with her making a resolute stand. The lesson is that make a resolute stand and evil will break itself against you. And I think what we see is her heart action was sing a song of protection that stills violence as long as it sounds. So I think we see that at this last narrow, this her standing out in front of her, the last handful of soldiers, like singing this song, right? And it it stills all this violence until, and then what we see is a reinforcements of arrive, in time to like break the invading army. And um, narrowly averting, this horde of troops entering the kingdom or whatever. So
I love bringing in the heart ability in the epilogue for that. That's great. Very fun. Andromeda, because you rolled like a million on this, right? So
I did roll like a million. So
on a 10 plus, narrate a scene where a lesson you've learned helps you to exemplify knighthood and inspire others.
yes, so I took that, but I'm giving it a little twist, as you'll see.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is in the Tower of Perilous. Um, Andromeda has fought her way against has overcome the Lesser Guardians to the Tower of Perilous, and stands against the enemy that holds the tower,
Sure.
and from which the tower is blighting the land. That blight has not yet all happened, but it is coming, and the Flickering Isles saw it.
Nice.
And the Black Knight is one who committed a terrible deed and hardened his heart.
Nice.
And he has squatted there in the Tower Perilous, and allowed his guilt and shame to be magnified by the tower's nature until it has magical force. And there is nothing, seemingly nothing for it, but that also empowers him, and it makes him an incredibly formidable foe. Certainly someone too strong for Andromeda to defeat. But she fights him as she must. And then towards the end of the fight, she is barely holding him off. He has her pinned against a pillar, and she has the blue flame in her hand, barely holding his dark blade away from her. And she looks directly into his eyes and gives him a vision of the future that is going to happen. And as she does so, she drops her sword, and he runs her through. And he realizes in that act that he has killed someone worthy. He has killed someone who came there for no reason but to unburden him, to remove his shame, to free him from the tower. And now that shame and guilt which he had buried away and hardened his heart to, his heart breaks. And it all comes out. And he realizes that he has to leave the tower and expiate this thing.
Yeah.
And Andromeda says, "My blood is on you now and forever." And she dies.
Wow.
And then you wake up in the wizard's tower.
No, just that. This is the reason my grandmother insisted I go, and my mother wanted anything for me to go.
Oh,
Is
that's
because
great.
is because they both knew that the likely ending was that I was going to die in order to purge the Tower Perilous of its evil.
We're deep in the kind of religious symbolism of this world here. Yeah, awesome, extremely dramatic. Guy, lastly, we have you, and you unfortunately rolled Stake Eyes, meaning your epilogue is going to be about how a lesson you've learned leads you astray and into jeopardy.
I am choosing to ignore that prompt and instead just flashing forward to us arriving on the distant shores of the Wizard Tower, and the shot we see, the final image we hold on is Guy Blackwell, just like enthralled, poring over a giant book bound in what appears to be human flesh.
Curiosity getting the better of him, perhaps, as he's
Perhaps.
as
Who's
you know,
to say?
That which the wizard holds becomes enthralling for him. Absolutely. Okay, thank you all. This has been Vow of the Knight-Aspirants, the Whispering Mists. Thank you for joining me to play it, and for anyone who is tuning in to watch or listen to us, thank you to you as well. We're gonna wrap up our recording in just a moment. Again, you can learn more about the Open Hearth Gaming community at openhearthgaming.com, and you can learn more about Vow of the Knight-Aspirants by following Cloven Pine Games on social media. If you're interested in this game, there's a place below this video also to sign up for updates as I continue developing it. Thanks again, and stay safe out there.
Thank you all. This is a lot of fun.